I mean, watching the game, Ali, there was a counter-attack in the first half, near the end of the half, and Rashford tried to put Ronaldo through, went out of play. Ronaldo turned round and threw his arms up the air so dramatically. It was as if Rashford hadn't passed the ball to him for an open goal tapping. If I'm a player like Rashford, Greenwood, and you're receiving that from Ronaldo, it's going to put you off your game. You're
Right then,
thinking,
Gabby,
do I shoot? Do I pass?
playing devil's advocate here, right? At what point, listen, in my opinion, Marcus Rashford hasn't performed at the level he can.
No, he hasn't.
He really has not. A little bit concerning, I've got to say to you. So at what point do you stop putting the arm round him and saying, come on you, get it sorted? Or does that point not come anymore?
No, I agree. He's not been in great form. But it's not just when Rashford has the ball, when Sancho gets past someone and makes a mistake, or Greenwood. Do you know what I mean? Just that, I don't want to say arrogance, but we know Ronaldo is one of the best players to ever play the game. But you've got to try and help these players. If they're lacking confidence, they're not playing at their best form, throwing your arms up. When you was a player, Ali, would you accept someone throwing their arms up at you?
I nearly had a fight with Paul Gascoigne in the League Cup final in the middle of the park. And that's what I'm going to say in your defence. I absolutely despise players showboating to the crowd and throwing hands up and all that kind of stuff. Particularly if they're attempting to make a fool of a fellow professional and a teammate. I don't think that is on at all. However, that man's whose birthday it is today, Terry Butcher, was not, he'd give you encouragement like you have no idea. However, if I needed a rocket ray and I wasn't doing it, he was down on me like a ton of bricks.
It's all about balance. It's standards. You set your standards, and if you're not doing your job, we all know it's a team game. 11 players on the field. If 2 or 3 players are not doing their jobs, you lose the game. So you got to have them standards as well. I mean, my best mate Tony Adams. If I wasn't doing my job, I'll get hammered. Sort yourself out, and people having a go at each other. Look at. I'm not being funny, but Gary Neville, he's played in teams. Do you imagine Roy Keane in central midfield? If you weren't doing you're not misplacing passes, he'd be going mad. He's saying, look, this ain't good enough. If you want to win the game, we can't afford to give away the ball like that.
And by the way, while I'm at it, Gab, Ray, when you think about it, the 2 coaches, maybe not so much Tuchel, well, I've seen Tuchel do it as well, but Klopp and Guardiola, they are not slow from the touchline if they're not happy. Conte. If you're not happy with what they're watching,
Ali, you take it off your manager because he's your boss, isn't he? But as a teammate, I used to have arguments with players like, how dare you throw your arms up in the air? I don't mean to give the ball away. But as well, let's not be fooled. Ronaldo was shocking last night. He didn't do anything in the game. He didn't offer Manchester United anything. He could have got subbed at half-time. So I understand the size and the stature of Ronaldo, superstar. But if he's not performing, can he really be throwing his arms up at other players?
So I actually think you're making a fair point, Gabby, in the respect that if the United fans are sitting watching that and you can tell that the body language on the park isn't ideal from the players, then you would suggest there's a problem.
You don't see that at Liverpool, do you?
No.
Or Manchester City.
No.
You never see them throwing their arms up at each other. So if a legend like Gary Neville can spot it as well, there's a problem in that dressing room.
Do you take my point, no, that Marcus Rashford, for example, I'm not picking on him because there's 1 or 2 United players who haven't played well. I actually thought Maguire and Varane would be a better partnership. I know they haven't played an awful lot due to injury, and I still think there's an opportunity for them to get better. But Rashford is certainly one player I've been looking at, Gabby, and I've been a little bit disappointed for us.
1000%, Ali. He's got the attributes, hasn't he, to be a world beater. Rapid, he's got skills, he can finish, and he's not doing enough. Of course he's not. He should be scoring or assisting every game. You look at the standards that Salah has set. Rashford has got the talent, but he's not showing it. So 100%. But I'm just looking at it from Rashford, Greenwood, Sancho, Ronaldo throwing his arms up every time they give the ball away. It's going to affect you as a player.
And the one person, boys, that hasn't been mentioned yet, and I'm thinking you'll probably agree, is the goal scorer last night, who's the complete opposite. You look at his attitude, his desire to run about, his willingness to run about, his willingness to close people down and encourage people. Cavani's proper player.
Yeah, he's got a start, hasn't he?
Yeah. Are you going to expand on that anymore for me, lads, or are you just going to tell
me?
Cavani. No, I think
Well, I'm just saying Cavani's been. Everywhere he's been sensational, isn't he, for his career? And his hunger to play.
I'm even thinking, Ray, Gabby, I'm looking at him when he scores that goal.
And he's delighted.
Yes,
it's the biggest buzz you'll ever get, though,
absolutely.
isn't it? For yourself, Ali, when you were scoring
amazing.
goals.
You think somebody at his stage of his career where he's maybe not as much a bit part, but he's not playing probably as much as he would like to, but you can still see how much it means to him. And I'm not sure it's maybe just the same with the rest of the United players, Gabby.
Yeah, you see when he comes on, he's flying around, isn't he?
Yeah.
Hunting players down, looking to get Manchester United back in the game. You should be seeing that from Rashford, Sancho, Greenwood. But at the moment, you're not, are you? It's like, we don't get a result today, never mind, there's always next week. They don't look like they've got that mentality of a Cavani, of the other teams at the top, like Manchester City, Liverpool, Chelsea.
Do you think they get top 4? Who would be your favourites now, Gabby, for top 4?
Arsenal, me, Ray. I feel like the way Martinelli, Saka, Smith Rowe can't even get a start and he's scoring every game he comes on. Lacazette's looking in good form. I feel like Arsenal can keep them players fit, keep them scoring goals. I think Arsenal for me, Ray.
I think on the 16th of January is going to be a big game. North London derby.
Massive.
Spurs. Spurs ground.
I've got to say, Ray, I'm leaning towards Spurs at this moment in time if they can continue to improve. But Arsenal have been excellent.
The value is 11-4, isn't it, with Coral?
Absolutely.
So I'm sure you'll be looking at that as a decent bet. But that could be a massive game for both sides.
Some big games coming up, mate.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Laura Woods. Monday to Wednesday mornings 6 till 10. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.